one of the key strategists in these midterm elections. Well, I guess we need to go first to what Mr. Axelrod said and that ad that the Democrats are reporting about Republicans injecting a lot of foreign money into this campaign. Your answer?
Well, my answer, Bob, is that David Axelrod is either woefully uninformed or willfully deceptive and dishonest. Because the fact is, on 3 points he made here, let's start with the first. Karl Rove and I don't run American Crossroads, as he said on this program. We're fully supportive of it. I've helped to raise money for it. I encourage it to come together because I think we need something like that on the conservative side, because there's so much money on the liberal side. You know, $400 million was spent in 2008 to help elect Barack Obama. We didn't hear Mr. Axelrod or others complaining about that. Much of that money was undisclosed. And this year there are organizations on the right who are playing by the same rules. But I'm not on the board. I'm not a paid consultant. I don't have any formal role, and I'm not responsible for its decisions. Second, I am responsible for the Republican State Leadership Committee. I chair that group. We help to elect candidates to state, House, and Senate offices around the country and Attorney General offices. We disclose all of our donors, 85,000 of them, all of them American. Third, the Washington Post and the New York Times both completely repudiated this charge of foreign money being funneled through the Chamber of Commerce into American campaigns, a charge of illegal criminal activity that was based on a blog posting that the President of the United States repeated, that was put on a website that's affiliated with Center for American Progress, a liberal nonprofit advocacy group that does not disclose its donors. So the fact is that this is the kind of abuse of power in a lot of ways, and the kind of attacks that most Americans are rejecting, and it's one of the reasons they're in such trouble in this election.
All right, well, let's just go back to the original premise, though. It may be legal, and apparently, well, it is.
Sure,
it is legal. But wouldn't it be better for all concerned if we disclosed who was giving what money to who? Why not make these disclosures possible?
That's a debate for Congress to have. And, you know, Mr. Schumer and Mr. Van Hollen, the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, tried to jam through a bill at the end of this session of Congress. It didn't work. And now that these groups are playing by the very same rules that the law that they had passed earlier and tried to reform but were unable to, they're leveling charges all over the place. Max Baucus, the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, is calling for an IRS investigation. There's already a Treasury Department Inspector General investigation of the White House trying to find out how it is they came to get access to private tax information by Koch Industries. The Koch brothers are on their enemies list, apparently, because they oppose their agenda. They support free market policies. And then how is it that the president's top economic advisor made that confidential information public? An inspector general investigation of that, which is rightly being done. But that's the kind of steps they take. Al Franken, the senator from Minnesota, Democratic senator from Minnesota, calling for a criminal investigation of the Chamber of Commerce. You know, I mean, that's this kind of intimidation to silence political opponents. Bob, you wonder why people may not want to be disclosed. I mean, look what they're doing to folks who are stepping up and saying we're gonna challenge you in the electoral process.
I take your point on all of that, but I still go back to the basic question. Wouldn't it be a good idea to know who's putting money into campaigns? I mean, how do we not know that foreigners aren't pouring money in? Because now it is possible under the law. Wouldn't that be a good thing to change that law?
Well, if everybody plays by the same rules, I'm for everybody playing by the same rules. But again, in 2008, $400 million went to help elect Barack Obama from liberal nonprofit advocacy groups, much of it non-disclosed, the sources of that. If people want to change the rules and have that debate, that's fine, but don't accuse those who are playing by the rules of somehow doing something unethical or illegal. And the notion that David Axelrod, one of the highest ranking officials, a sworn official in the White House, would sit on this set and say, I'm going to lob these charges and let them prove it's wrong. What if I accuse the cameraman here of, hey, you've taken some foreign money, let's prove that that's wrong? That is an unbelievable mentality, and it is the kind of grasp on power. These ads are not a threat to democracy, Bob. They may be a threat to their power, but their power and democracy are not the same thing, and it's very revealing that they see it that way.
All right, let's talk about David Axelrod. I asked him, what did he think a Republican takeover of the House would mean? He said, well, He doesn't think it's going to happen, but he would hope it would lead to cooperation. Do you think it would lead to cooperation, or should we expect more gridlock, more opposition?
I think there will be areas where there's cooperation, areas where there's opposition. Look, the Republicans, if they take control of the House and get